Yeah.
So what is this part 2? Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. You got to say that. This is part 2. You know what I mean? Because
All right. This is part two. What we done is the footage for part one. Actually, hold on. The last part of the footage for part one wasn't recorded because of internet issues. Now we're recording part two. So here you go.
which is proper brief, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me, fam. What's happening here?
You talk to me.
Like, you talk to me, fam.
You said you wanted to talk about the last panel.
After you missed it out, fam. No. It's a. I mean, come on. The panel is
It's a
it's a
cool panel.
classic.
There's a lot of
It's a
going.
cool classic panel
There's a lot going on. Probably took
of
him
a
a long
young
time
Goku.
to draw this.
Yeah, and I don't think it took that long
A lot,
to draw it.
pretty
But
much all the characters that are relevant in this section of the arc are here. You got Jinbei on the far right, looks like he's eating. Zoro, Nami, Luffy,
yeah,
Sanji.
but one thing I
You have
gotta say
Luffy.
though, the dumbness. I don't understand. Maybe it's just One Piece in it because I've stopped watching a lot of anime a long time ago, so I don't know. I don't know the current state of shonen protagonists. So maybe you'd be a good person to tell me this. But
Hmm.
when Luffy says, "I don't really get it," but I can't lie, it pissed me off. Like, this guy is still the same dumb nigga from episode 1. Do you know what I mean? It's so annoying. Like,
Why?
just him saying, I don't really get it pisses me off. Like, there's no sense of development. Like, even intelligent wise, just like
Mm-mm. Do you
you're
know
two
what?
years
I'm gonna
older.
shut
Like,
you down right there. I don't agree
no,
with
wait,
anything you said.
hold on. No, wait, hold on. How can you shut me down? I haven't even said what I needed to
Sorry.
say.
Take the floor.
Um, but he says I don't really get it. Like, but it's annoying now. You know, it's almost as annoying as Sanji doing his dumb shit with Nami and Robin flirting with all of the females and blood coming out of his nose. It's almost not even close. I'll say it's not even close, but it's annoying seeing how Luffy's always dumb. He doesn't still understand what's going on. He still says, I don't really get it. It's so annoying. Like, you would think after 2 years, you're 19 years old, maybe just give a little bit, just like say that, okay, I get it now. Just say, oh, I get it a little bit, but oh, I don't really get it. Just personally, I think that's annoying. And it's just the lack. I don't know why shonen mangaka seems to feel the need to keep their protagonists the same in terms of intelligence throughout. I mean, um, the only redeeming thing is that he's a genius when it comes to battle. You get what I mean? Like, that's what they do. They might be stupid, but when it comes to battles, they're geniuses. Like, fair enough, but give us a little bit more. Like, not even a little bit more, but I just don't like the fact that he's an idiot still, and he's still not understanding things. It just pisses me. Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, I've already said my point. Like, it was funny before, but it's not funny anymore.
I don't see the problem, man. You're looking too deep into it. Like, if you're talking about
Nah.
Luffy in terms of his development as a character, this isn't the moment to kind of criticize him for it. This is it's just a little fun, bro. Like, I understand what you're saying to a degree, but that's not. This is not the moment to criticize Luffy and his development.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not, but it might not be the correct moment. I understand what you mean. You're probably thinking of a moment where it's really necessary for him to understand what's going on, and he still doesn't. And then that's probably where I would criticize him. But and this moment is not it. But it just so happens that the dialogue that he has said right now has annoyed me. So it doesn't matter about the moment because he's
But it
been
doesn't.
like this for a while. No, to me it doesn't. To me it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And when moments like that happened, he still didn't understand what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like the fact that he's a simple guy. He's a simpleton. Do you know what I mean? I get that. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean you have to be an idiot. You can be a simple guy. It don't mean you have to be an idiot. It don't mean that you don't have to understand the situation
But doesn't it?
that's going
But
on.
couldn't you
Like
now
this
look at it a
protagonist,
different way?
huh?
Couldn't you look at it in a different way? Maybe saying I
What other way?
don't get it, but that doesn't mean he doesn't understand the magnitude of the situation. But maybe he doesn't get why
He
they're
he
doing
just
this actual
he
thing.
just he just says I don't really get it. What doesn't he really get? That
I
York
don't
was a
know.
traitor.
I don't know.
That York,
It
no,
could
when
be.
you read the panels before that, it tells you what he really doesn't get.
Wait,
He
hold
doesn't
on,
get
bro.
the
Relax,
fact that York,
relax, 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 bro. I understand what you're saying, but you're probably right, but you can interpret it in a couple different ways. You could be saying, I don't really get this situation or why we have to do this to get this, if that makes sense. But maybe because it's Luffy who's saying it, now you're taking it in this direction, if that makes sense. So for example, if another character was to say, I don't really get it, for example, Sanji or Jimbe, you're gonna interpret it differently, right?
because Sanji
Because of
and
the type of
Jinbei
characters
aren't
they are.
idiots. Yeah, because Sanji and idiots,
So I
it would be one of those things whereby, oh wait, hold on, it must be something that's really mysterious for someone like Jinbei and Sanji to not get.
so
Do you get what I mean?
also you're telling me you brought me to do a part two for this, so you can tell me that you don't like this aspect of
No,
Luffy.
I have no. It's just the thought that came. This is one of the things. No, no, it's not. It's not it. But when I was reading the chapter for myself, it's one of the things that annoyed me that I wanted to mention.
I've
Regardless,
never minded this aspect of Luffy. If anything, I wanted to
no, but that's the
say
problem. Nah, fair enough. No, fair enough. But it's like for the past for the past I don't know for the past 2 years, this guy has been the same in terms of his intelligence level.
I think he's the
Like
same
it's
character
kind of annoying,
from
and
episode one,
which
chapter
is
one, and I think
a
that's
problem that I
absolutely
have
fine.
for a lot of protagonists. It's I think it's a problem I have a lot for. I have a lot of I have it's a problem I have with shonen
Can you give me a
protagonists.
couple
But even
examples
Naruto,
for like?
no, you know what? Even Naruto developed. Like Naruto used to be an idiot. Do you know what I mean? But um, after Shippuden, he seemed to have become a smarter ninja, not just in fighting, but in reading the situations. Like he understands what's going on. Do you know what I mean? They
I
don't play
understand,
him off as a
but
dumb
don't you
nigger
think he
anymore.
was already somewhat perceptive to a certain degree, even before the time skip?
Who?
I
Naruto.
know Naruto, he's been kind of shown to us
Now
as being
Naruto
an
is an
idiot,
idiot,
but
man.
to a certain degree, he's always been somewhat perspective. Like not perspective. He's always been somewhat
No, he's
not
just
not
he all
smart.
he's been was a battle genius.
He's one of
That's
those.
it.
Naruto's one of those guys. He's in school. He probably wasn't the greatest in school, but he's not an idiot. You know what I mean?
What book smart? Like
He's
the way they
yeah,
say it.
he's not
Like
really book smart, but he's not an
he's
idiot.
not book smart.
Like Luffy, for example, is borderline retarded, but
Yeah, no, Luffy is retarded. Yeah,
he's borderline
Naruto isn't
retarded.
retarded.
Naruto was never
No,
far from.
but at least Naruto developed his ability
Yeah,
to
he did.
understand situations, and Kishimoto didn't used to play after Shippuden. You weren't really playing it like, oh, Naruto is still dumb.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or still not perceptive. He stopped playing that kind of character. But anyway, moving on, since we're not here for.
I want to just dive in just a little bit more. Just
Ah, fair enough.
my opinion on like Luffy and that aspect of his character.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying and I hear you, but sometimes I think it's overrated when people say a character has to develop. Sometimes I feel like characters are already developed from chapter one, and the only thing that's really driving them would be their experiences. Really, like not
So
driving them, but maybe
um,
it's
yeah,
like they still life goes on and just how they develop and
they just
how they
have
navigate through life.
opposition. They just have
Exactly,
oppositions
and
to
how they
their
navigate
goals.
through life. Just
Yeah,
like
I
how
think one of the worst mistakes you can make for a character, one of the worst mistakes a writer can make for their character, especially in shonen, is to have them the same as they were in chapter
I
one,
don't agree.
all the way to the final end.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's one of
something
the
different
worst mistakes you can make.
because I think it's just predictable, and I just want
No,
to
it's
see.
not predictable. It's what makes it's what we're there for. When we
For
say that we
example,
love One Piece because of its
I understand
characters,
what you're saying, but
we're talking about character
I know
change as
this
well.
aspect what you're talking about. It makes sense what you're saying. I understand, but let's not lie to yourself. Like, well, bro, you are a Luffy fan. You like Luffy, and let's not lie. Like, Luffy isn't one of the best main characters in Shonen, despite what
Yeah,
you're saying.
but the
Hold on,
reason
hold on,
why I
hold on,
like
hold on,
him,
hold on, hold on. Despite what you're saying, he's still one of the best main characters without really changing as a character. So what's the
yeah, I
point?
think he's the best. I think he's my
Exactly. So
favorite manga
if
character.
he's your favorite character and you
Yeah,
think he's the best shonen character, but this
yeah,
aspect of him you don't like, what is your
yeah.
real problem? Because you're saying it's not
No,
really
I just told
bad,
you. It's just a part. It's just a
but it's still the
small
best.
problem. It's not like yeah, but it's just a small problem that I have. But the thing is, he's still the he has undergone. It's like we need to have a discussion whether Luffy has actually gone through has actually gone through character development. That's actually a discussion for another time.
I don't think he
Um,
has really, but we've seen him
yeah,
navigate through certain situations. Maybe
yeah.
that has
But
changed
the
his
pro
perspective on certain things. But as a character, purely like from the very core, he's very much the same character. It's very similar
Yeah,
to
but the reason why I like him, like the thing is, it doesn't say much. For me to say that Luffy is the best shonen protagonist, um, it doesn't say much. It must mean that other protagonists must be that shit then. Do you know what I mean?
you're
Because
such a hater,
Luffy
man. No, yeah,
no, because
honestly,
do you know why it doesn't say
I'll
much?
be so
No, no,
real
no.
with you. Yeah, I'll be so real.
Do you know why it doesn't say much?
A lot of the
Because
points you say, to a certain degree, I really understand it, and even though I don't want to agree, I agree with you to a degree. But bro, your hating sometimes is so. Come
I'm
on,
not a
man.
hater.
The way you hate,
Hold on.
like, come on, man.
I'm
Like,
not a hater.
just,
Let me say this,
just
yeah. Let me
be
say
a bit
this.
more happy, man. Smile, bro.
Let me let me say this, yeah. Luffy, now you're even making me forget my point,
Yeah, forget
fam.
your point.
But I'm saying Luffy, I'm just saying Luffy is a the reason why I like Luffy is because the thing is I admire Luffy, but he's not the type of character that I'm looking for in my character. He's not the character traits that he has. It's not what I'm looking for inside in my protagonist. What I look for in my protagonist is characters. I look for another thing, but One Piece has presented me with a different main character that I've never seen before ever in manga. In
Luffy
manga,
is very
yeah,
much
Luffy.
similar to Goku.
Not no, he's very similar, but there's something
He's
about
very
him.
much similar to Goku, as in
Yeah.
from
But this
episode
what
one
I like
of
about
Dragon
Luffy.
Ball to
Yeah,
episode whatever of Dragon Ball Super, Goku is very much more or less the same character. Luffy and Goku are pretty much the same character in
but
terms of they
there's
don't
a
really
Luffy has a
develop
certain
too much.
appeal
It's just
that
how
Goku
he
doesn't have.
navigates
Yeah.
through life. He was already the
Luffy,
guy from day
Luffy,
one.
yeah, but Luffy has a certain appeal that Goku, in my opinion, doesn't really have, and I'm not sure what that is really. But what I like,
It's fine.
what I admire, you know what, I admire Luffy more than I admire Goku, and I admire Luffy because Luffy Luffy from chapter one before the time skip, this guy had zero internal conflict within him. And Luffy, we've spoken about this, and Luffy's the type of character that us all human beings aspire to be like. If we could be like Luffy whilst chasing our dreams, we would have accomplished our dreams by now. You know what I mean, fam?
Mm.
Like we would accomplish our dreams by now because we would have no worries. We would have no worries. We have no fear. We'll have this determination. Do you know what I mean? Like we would have accomplished our dreams by now. Now, for real, that's why I admire him because he's someone who I'm not and who I wish to be like. Do you see what I mean? But that's the aspect that I like about him. But which was totally different from anything I've ever seen until he was broken down as a character. Um, but yeah, let's move on from this.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just
What
something
is
that
that? Is that a topic for another day or
that's
no?
probably a topic for another day. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think my another point that I wanted to make um is
About the panel.
yeah, same panel. Um, is Lucci and Kaku. So as you
What's
probably
Kaku?
already know,
Is Kaku in
I
the
can't see Kaku, but Lucci is there. I'm guessing Kaku must be there as well.
yeah, somewhere, yeah.
So we first of all we don't know what's happened with the Seraphins, and but the fact that they have
Who
because
has
we know.
control of the Seraphins right now? Shouldn't it
So
be?
all the Vegapunks do, but the fact that now York has been captured, the authority, maybe Vegapunk himself has taken back
Okay, so yeah, okay,
authority over the Seraphim.
okay.
So we don't know if they were actually defeated or if they were just what's the word? Immobilized. I think that's it.
They're probably immobilized. Probably.
Yeah. So with maybe the authority is back with Vegapunk, which would make sense. I don't really have to go much into it, but from our previous discussion, it's just like I'm not convinced that Lucci and Kaku can just like the scene where Lucci and Kaku had to team up with the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. Not that it didn't make sense to me. I didn't buy into it. We know that the conflict was so forced. Why? Because we knew that Zoro and Luffy could have taken care of the Seraphins with literally with one punch if they had used ACOC straight away. That's a fact. At least Luffy. Do you know what I mean? At least Luffy. But they didn't, and because they didn't, that made it so that Kaku and Lucci can actually come and fight alongside them. So because I never believed this, because this conflict was so forced, and now seeing them here together, it's just like I don't like it. I just don't buy into it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like you should have given me something more. You should have given me like a proper character transformation or a proper reason as to why, like a good reason as to why they would actually team up. This is the guy.
I don't even
This is
want
the
to say
guy who
it,
almost
but
killed this is the guy who almost killed Luffy's what's it called? Almost killed Luffy. Like for example, when we think about what's his name? Crocodile. Now, the reason why Luffy didn't even want to team up with Crocodile. That's how he hated him. That's how he disliked him. But what happened there is Luffy had no choice, actually. He had no choice.
I
He
think he
needed
had a
help.
choice.
No, he did no. Who was it that who was it that actually, I mean, Jinbei was there. Jinbei was with him, if I remember
Jimbo
correctly.
was with
Jinbei
me.
was
Yeah.
with Luffy, and I think it was Jinbei that
Jim,
advised them
Jimbo
to.
said he's a powerful person.
He's a
Maybe we
powerful,
could
so
use.
let him. So he had a choice, but he said, but that was a real moment. Like they needed what Jinbei said, that they needed him because he's a powerful character that could help them escape. Because Luffy, he had motivation. His motivation was to go and save his brother, and so any help he would take. So he had to take help from an enemy that almost killed his crew and almost killed his friends. That almost took over a nation, and then but he had to team up with him because he needed to go save his brother, and he needed as many powerful people as he could have. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a moment. That's a real moment to team up with a villain. Do you know what I mean? And Lucci was just as bad as Crocodile. But yet, what we're given in terms of how they work together, this moment we don't buy it, but we buy the Crocodile moment because it makes sense. But in this case now, the conflict was forced in the first place, because I'm sure them lot there could have taken care of the Seraphims by themselves without Kaku and Lucci's help. Number two is I'm trying because I can't remember, because I know that Lucci and Kaku got betrayed, right? I know that they got betrayed
Stassi.
by Stassi, and then I'm trying to remember the chapter, but
Um,
completely forgot
yeah, it was
what
maybe
went on.
about 20 chapters ago, more or less.
It was about 20 chapters ago, wasn't it?
Something.
But my point still stands is we didn't receive a real moment that could convince us and even Luffy to team up with them two. That's what I wanted to get off my chest. That's what I really wanted to say.
Okay. Um, I hear it. I'm a bit more easygoing than you when it comes to these things, but it makes sense. The crocodile moment seems a bit more understandable to this moment.
Mm,
It was probably handled a little bit better, even though there wasn't a lot there. You know what I mean? It kind of just made sense in terms of Luffy needs some powerful allies to help his brother ease in like a dire situation.
mm,
This, on the other hand, probably isn't the same. I know they probably needed. Lucci, and Kaku to kind of team up against the Seraphim at that moment in time. But you could really kind of just work around that. Really, I'm not.
because they were also, and I understand that the Seraphims were also, because they were under the control of York. But I didn't understand the fact that they were also after CPO. I mean, I didn't understand why York was attacking Kaku and Lucci. Do you think we can go back to that chapter quick? I think, because I could be
I don't know what
forgetting
chapter
here.
that is, and I don't know. I can't be able to look for it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like
I
any.
can't
I don't
remember
think
the
we.
fine details on that. But I know what you're trying to say. Um, it's a bit weaker on why they teamed up. I know there's going to be a lot of fans who like the team up for obvious reasons, but
Yeah,
not,
enemy and allies teaming up again. No,
it's not that.
fair enough, but give us a good reason. Give us a
Yeah,
real moment.
it's not really that
Do you know
I'm
what I
a
mean?
fan or I'm not a fan. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't really care too much. Even though I would prefer if Lucha was more of a villain than he was an ally, or even if he was just an ally for this moment in time. Because when you make him an ally for just this moment in time and he goes back to being a villain, the tension isn't there anymore.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. You got that right.
yeah, I guess that's it. Um, it is what it is. He we'll see from Hell how he kind of interacts with the Short Hats, interacts with Luffy, and what he does afterwards, because that's still really important. This is just like the beginning, I guess. So we'll see how that develops. But what do you think of the whole plan of what they've just done? Because whose idea do you think it was actually to do this, if anything?
Say that again.
Whose idea do you think it was to listen into the conversation, or to? So I'm assuming someone. They've now captured York.
Yeah, yeah,
Assuming
yeah.
York has probably now told everyone what her plan was. Someone has now decided, hold on, York, we need you to now call the the Celestials or the Navy or whatever, talk to them, and we're gonna listen in. You think this
Yeah,
has to be someone's idea?
who could have done that? Probably Jinbei, or
Probably
even
Jimbo.
Vegapunk himself,
Could be
or even
Vegapunk, but
Vegapunk
let's
himself.
leave. Let's try give the credit to probably one of the Straw Hats. It was probably one of the Straw Hats.
Shorts are dumb. The only one who could probably think of it was is Robin there. So Robin is there.
Robin could
So think
potentially
who's the smart who are the smartest Straw Hats? You
Jimbo
have
and
you
Robin.
have Robin, Jinbei, and Nami.
I don't think it would be like. Of course, they're smart, but in terms of situations like this, like ideas like this is something that I would probably expect from a Jinbei or maybe a Robin, maybe Sanji from 600 chapters ago, back in
Sanji will be
East Blue.
too busy.
He's
Sanji will be too busy trying to flirt, so you
exactly,
can count him out.
but they need to bring back Mr. Prince from Alabasta, and have him do that. But
Mr. Prince. Please give us that Mr.
they give us
Prince.
that
You
Mr.
know what I
Prince,
mean?
man. Like this flirting, whatever, man. Just give us more Sanji moments where he's using his brain and all. Not even Mr. Prince. Word Water Seven impelled not impelled down. Water Seven where he had the idea to I can't remember exactly what he done, but he kind of went on his own to do some things while Robin was being captured, which was pretty smart. But I can't remember exactly what he done there, but we need some more moments like that from Sanji.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do really think it's important that we find out why. Because I know it's been 20 chapters ago, at least. I think it's really important to find out
You're still talking about
the
the Rob Lucci thing
why the Seraphins decided to um
because York is
fight
controlling them
against
though.
huh?
York is controlling them.
Yeah, I know. And York is supposedly
But the thing is,
working for
the CP0 agents are trying to eradicate everyone, so they don't know the plan that York has with the Celestials.
Okay, cool. Now that's all I wanted to find out. Exactly. That's it. That's it. CPO came to even defeat York as well, to
Yeah,
take care of York as well.
if they knew what York was doing, then she wouldn't be a target. But
Yeah, exactly.
there was nothing there saying that they knew that York was different from everyone else. So York is just the same as everyone else. So
Yeah, yeah, to them. So uh that's why okay, cool. That makes sense. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know. But either way, it's like, okay, cool. Let me try to understand the situation now. Okay, cool. Um, so they come to assassinate all the Vegapunks. Uh, it turns out that York actually somehow York has taken control of the Seraphins and decided to defend herself, obviously, against the CPO. And so that made and because York decided to defend herself against using the Seraphins, sort of like I still feel like these agents they could have hid themselves. Do you see what I mean? Like they could have taken them. I know that they were captured. In fact, they were captured, and then they got released. They asked the Straw Hats to release them, and that they'll be of good help. So okay, cool. I'm fairly understanding the situation now. So they were captured, and then they asked the Straw Hats to basically free them so that they can help. So the problem is the Straw Hats did act. Luffy and Zoro didn't actually need to free them up in order to take care of the Seraphim, because we know they could have taken care of them by themselves. These lot have because if this was Kaido,
I knew you were going to do this. I was even going to say,
like
I don't want to dwell on the chapter too long, so
yeah,
got
yeah.
to wrap up
You
in
said
like
that,
5 minutes. But
but
yeah,
you've said that Luffy is a Yonko,
yeah,
right? Give us that impression, like give us that impression that this guy is actually a Yonko, because
because
we know
we
Kaido
know
would have
Kaido
whacked
wouldn't
these
have
characters.
struggled to
He wouldn't.
guys out,
He wouldn't.
even both of them at the
You know
same
what I
time.
mean? Even all four of the Seraphins at the same time, Kaido wouldn't struggle. Do you get what I
It's
mean?
the
And Luffy's Devil Fruit even bypasses the fact that these Seraphins have what's his name? King's body. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like just without even ACOC, like Luffy's Devil Fruit alone would have bypassed that defense. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day,
It's
price
what
forced for me.
they do sometimes in series. I think we talked about it even in the last part where we're like not even the last part, the last video we done with everyone else where okay,
Yeah,
Big Mum, um, it feels like Kid and Law shouldn't have beaten Big Mum because she didn't use all of her arsenal. She didn't use ACLC, and we know she has that available to her. So, do we really
mm,
rate Law what Law and Kid done if Big Mum didn't go 100%? Same thing, hell. Luffy has the ability. He didn't use everything in his arsenal, so he's now called upon other people to kind of help him out to fill out like that power gap when we know he could probably fill that
exactly.
power gap himself.
Exactly. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. So this, yeah, so that's why it makes like you have no reason to trust the enemies that have come to
The only
that who
reason
almost killed your
The only reason I
and I
think you don't like the power gap thing may like maybe he's not using this is if the Seraphim have done something specifically to
but it
kind of
wasn't
weaken
hinted
him
that
or to get
yeah.
around it in some type of sneaky way or clever way. You know, but he didn't do any of that. This is just a strength of power. I mean, a
Mm,
battle of power, I guess. They wasn't able to overcome it. But then we also saw Sanji was able to do some form of damage and Luffy and Zoro couldn't. But I don't know if that's consistency or that shows just how strong Sanji is because of the whole thing he has over there with the Vince Smoke blood or whatever. But yeah, but you were about to say something.
no, I think just something in the same line as what you were saying. I can't really
Yeah,
remember what it was, but yeah, yeah, spot on, spot on. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. But I was speaking with Mr. Prince, not Sanji. You know the one I'm talking about.
his name is
I was
Daryl.
speaking to Mr. Prince. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you saying out his name for?
They don't
I
know
was
who we're talking
speaking to Mr. Prince, and he said that his biggest takeaway is the mother flame
about.
when Whitebeard when Sengoku was talking about Whitebeard's power that it can destroy the world. He was saying that the what could actually destroy the world is the mother flame because of the after effects
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
that it has, and that made me think what was my takeaway. if you just scroll up, what was my takeaway of the
You're
chapter?
gonna wrap it up in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah, and I was thinking, what was my
What when they
takeaway?
talk about the
My
mother flame?
Yeah, yeah, I want to talk about the mother flame if I could remember. Yeah, go. Just where keep going up. I think it's like the first few panels where we see the big giant hole.
Oh, the first.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What was my takeaway? What did I have in mind?
Go on. You got 2 minutes.
Why are you counting me like with 2 minutes and stuff like that? What is this?
I'm trying to leave, man. I
Um,
ain't trying to chat to you.
what my takeaway? Um, damn, I had it really. I think one of them was I know it has something to do with Mother Flame. Oh, damn. I actually can't. My mind is blocked right now. I don't know what your takeaway from the chapter is, but
I
I
don't
had a
really have a
takeaway.
takeaway. I just thought the last panel was cool. Uh, I'm a two piece. I'm a two-piece guy. Anyway,
Yeah. So, but I think it was how Mr. Prince said that flipping the mother flame is what would actually destroy the world, and I was saying that okay, so but number one, the power source, the only people that could actually replicate Mother Flame again is the
okay.
Vegapunks, right? And and the only way for us to actually see the Mother Flame as this big destructive end of end of the world sort of threat is if the world government are in possession of it once more. Because it seems like it needs to be the power source, the power, whatever Mother Flame is, it needs to be replicated. And the world government, they don't have it, they don't have the means, they don't have the means to replicate it again. The two means to replicate it is a Vegapunk and the power plant, based on today's chapter. So, but they don't have that. And the only way that this Mother Flame can be another threat to the world is if the world government are in possession of it one more time. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because and right now they're not in possession of it. Do you see what I'm saying? So the question now becomes is how are they going to gain possession of Mother Flame again? Because if they can only use it once, then it don't really mean anything. And the only time they've used it, random population that I'm not even convinced that are actually erased or dead. Do you get what I'm saying? But forget that whether I'm not convinced that. Let's just go with the fact that they were decimated. Do you see what I'm saying? If they've only used it once, what's the point? It's gonna have to be used again. Do you get what I'm saying? And so therefore that means the world government they will have to be in possession of it one more time. Do you get what I mean? So that means a few things. That means a few things. That means they need what they need
You
in
don't
their
have time to
possession
say
is
your
the
few things.
power plant, and number
You
two,
don't have time
they
to say
need a
your few
Vegapunk
things. You need to cut this.
and a Vegapunk. So that's my takeaway
That's your takeaway,
from
yeah?
this chapter. Yeah,
Okay. You already said all those points in the last part, but thank you anyway.
I didn't.
You did, man.
I didn't, fam. But whatever, fam. Go do whatever you want to do, fam.
Okay,
Thanks,
guys, part two,
man.
done.